Welcome back to Dvalin's Tavern for our second episode. I'm your host Dvalin, and I'm thrilled to have you join me again on our bi-weekly adventure into gaming universe. This episode will dive into the latest and greatest in gaming and entertainment, bringing you news, reviews, exclusive interviews, and lively roundtable discussions on the hottest trends and updates in the gaming world. Welcome. Today I got plenty of topics for us. It was actually very hard to find the right topic since there's going on a lot right now in the gaming industry. Like a lot. A lot. And so I picked four themes, well, four, you can say, points for us for the agenda. First of all, I picked about the first topic we're going to talk about is Marvel Rivals, the superhero team based PvP shooter. So, yeah, Overwatch, look out, because we got a new boy in the school. And the second one we're going to talk about is Activision. So Activision is going to announce, well, they have announced, Activision announced Elsewhere Entertainment, a new studio formed to develop all new franchises. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And we're also going to talk about some sad news, which is Ubisoft cancelled The Division Heartland, which was a game that I was really excited for. But sadly, I will never get the chance to play that game since it's cancelled. But more into that, I don't know why it was actually cancelled. And the last thing we're going to talk about is Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is the newest the newest Assassin's Creed game, which is coming out soon. But again, more on that soon. So that was the four topics we have for today. And well, let's dive directly into it. First of all, we have Marvel Rivals, the superhero team based PvP shooter. So, a deep and varied Marvel roster to choose from. A vast array of fan favorite and cult classic Marvel superheroes and supervillains from across the Avengers, Guardians of Galaxy, X-Men, and many more from across the Marvel multiverse. With the alpha test in May, players will have access to more than a dozen playable superheroes and supervillains, including iconic characters such as Black Panther, Spider Man, Magneto, and Magic. Fast and fun 6 versus 6 action with ever changing game dynamics, with intricate environment, fast paced gameplay, and ever changing battlefields. There's never a dull moment in Marvel Rivals. Battle as a superhero and a supervillain with incredible abilities and combine your powers to bring unexpected fun to the battlefield in a matter of seconds. See, this is quite interesting because I was actually a quite big fan of Overwatch back in the days. But one of the things I did never really liked about it was it's a game where a lot of people like first person shooter. I'm more like a third person shooter. I like that you can see your character. If you get a new skin for your character, you can actually see it. It's not only like other people who can see it. So having a superhero Marvel Overwatch game in third person is quite insane. Like that's really cool. And I'm a huge Marvel fan. I don't talk about often, but I'm actually like a huge Marvel fan. I love Marvel. And getting a game where I can be all the heroes I like and basically fighting against other people who plays other heroes or villains is quite cool. So again, this game is basically going to be it's going to be a 6 versus 6. They're going with a 6 versus 6 as Overwatch used to be until they changed to a 5 versus 5. It's a team based PvP shooter, so you will have different maps with different various modes. And also, as you probably heard, it's an ever changing battlefield. And what they actually mean about that, also intricate environments, is that you can actually shoot at like walls, bridges, stuff like that. And you can actually break the world around you. You can actually destroy like roofs, floors, anything you can think of. Like probably not like everything, but like objectives that could be someone is hiding behind a wall. Then you can shoot a hole through the wall, and now you can see them. Stuff like that, which is going to be quite interesting. I mean, seriously, that's actually going to be quite interesting. Let's dive a bit more into this. Dynamic hero synergies coordinates unique combinations between characters to ignite surprising team-up skills. Unleash the synergy of combined superpowers, and invent new tactics that can turn the tide of combat. Ride on Groot's back as a rocket, raccoon to take on your enemies as a dangerous duo. Unleash Gamma Energy as Hulk to charge into Iron Man's armor for massive damage, and so much more. So basically, if you play, for example, if one of your teammates is Groot and you play the Rocket Raccoon, then you will be able to jump up on Groot, and you're basically going to be like together, and can probably unleash power together. And if you play, for example, as Hulk, you can unleash like gamma, radioactive gamma, into Iron Man's suit, and then basically he will be able to shoot a very, very strong beam after that. So you can have all sort of fun like combos in this game. I don't think it's gonna be like, like I don't think people are gonna be like forced to do stuff like this. I think it's more gonna be like a choice of your own. But if the possibility is there, it's probably gonna be good. We'll see. I personally don't hope it's gonna be like a meta where everyone is gonna be like having to play. Like if I play Groot, someone has to play a raccoon, Rocket, Rocket. I think he's just normally called Rocket. But yeah, let's dive a bit more in. Creative environment destruction. Tear your way through iconic Marvel worlds across destructible environments, from Asgard's to the Tokyo of 2099. Use superpowers to alter these environments, reshape the terrain, and craft a strategic advantage on the battlefield. Take cover to dodge attacks, or use makeshift weapons to strike enemies. Players will find countless ways to utilize the environments to claim victory. Continually evolving universe and a robust post-launch updates, the Marvel Multiverse brings infinity possibilities. Each seasonal drop will introduce new superheroes to the battlefield along with challenging and diverse maps. Unlock new content to implement across various gameplay strategies while exploring thrilling action and endless possibilities in these adventurous team battles. So that's basically everything you can read from whatever they have on their website. So again, I mean it's quite straightforward. It's basically Marvel. You get a lot of Marvel heroes, a lot of Marvel villains. You get these maps which are very iconic, like Asgard. You probably see a lot of these battlefields or something where you're like, oh, I remember this place from the movie or a TV series or something like that, or from a cartoon from Marvel. So it will be maps. It will not just be random maps like an Overwatch where you're like, oh, this is a nice place. I don't know where it is, but oh, it looks nice. This is actually going to be like places where you're like, oh, this is the place where Ant-Man he fought this guy, or this is gonna be the place where Hulk was, smashing Loki, stuff like that. It could be different places where you're like, oh yeah, okay, I know, where these places are from. So it's gonna be quite interesting. It will definitely be interesting. I sadly didn't get into the first alpha they had recently. I think it is all. But I do hope to get allowed to play it eventually. Without only being, too positive, I watched a lot of streamers play it on Twitch. And even though it looked very good, it still somehow like made me feel the game could look like a mobile game. I don't know why, but it's just like the movement, the combat, there was some kind of like mobile game ish to it. Um, which, yeah, I think I have to try it myself. I've seen a lot of people say it's way more fun than I expected, and I do hope that. I just have a bit afraid that the game is gonna feel like a mobile game because I think that's the dream also for the developers. I think, wasn't it? I can't remember. I just know at the moment it's gonna be on PC. You can find it on Steam at the moment, but I don't know. It just looks like there could be possibly a mobile port behind. But again, let me try the game before I actually say if it feels like a mobile game or not. It's just from what I've seen. But if we ignore the fact that some of the combat looked a bit mobile game-ish, this sounds very promising. And I'm actually surprised this is first happening now. I would have imagined something like this for Star Wars or other games like this would actually have come up before. Um, but it's nice and it's surprisingly good thing to see this is actually coming now. But yeah, that was about Marvel Rivals. All right, let's get to the second news. Activision announced Elsewhere Entertainment, new studio formed to develop all new franchises. Headquartered in Poland, the new studio's team is hard at work creating a brand new narrative based IP. Activision has formed an all new internal studio, Elsewhere Entertainment. The new team, headquartered in Warsaw, Poland, with additional resources in the US, is exclusively focused on creating a new narrative based and genre defining AAA franchise. Built from the ground up, Elsewhere Entertainment is a premier and standalone studio dedicated to establishing an environment that inspires bold and diverse ideas. The team's underlying mission encourage everyone to explore and collaborate creatively to craft a franchise with an enduring legacy that resonates far beyond games. The talented team at Elsewhere Entertainment consists of a collection of storytelling experts whose credits include The Last of Us, Uncharted, The Witcher, Cyberpunk, Destiny, Tom Clancy's The Division, and Far Cry. The new studio has full access to Activision's resources and tools and it continues to increase production and development. Elsewhere is opening its search for the best in class talent from across the industry and around the world to help create a state of the art and next generation gaming experience. This is everything we have gotten from Activision so far. And I'm happily surprised about these news. Like I honestly think this is good news. And a new narrative based and genre defining AAA franchise. So basically, first of all, it's a narrative based game, which in my world, like we're pretty sure like that means like it's a story driven game, like it's narrative based, like it's a story driven game, like of course they got people from Last of Us, Uncharted, The Witcher, which are all story based games. Where you find some kind of like RPG stuff where you follow a mission which has a very interesting story, or you're following a path which is telling your story. But also they're saying it's a triple A game, and it's genre defining AAA franchise and genre defining AAA franchise. So basically, they want to make a AAA game, but they want to make everyone feel like this is the new standard of AAA. They really want to like push out a game where you say, "Wow, this actually feels like a AAA game. This is how AAA games should be." So, and it's always something people say. What is it? What's it? Ubisoft that called? What's that? The new pirate game, Sea of Skulls, Sea of Skulls, where one of the main developers said that game was a fourth A, AAAA, which of course was a joke, but it's just fun. So it's always something the marketing developers always say, stuff like that. But again, I have highly respect that this could be something interesting. Also, I'm happy to see another game studio in Europe. Always happy to see. And there was actually another news today about Amazon, who just announced that they have opened up a new Amazon game studio in Europe as well. I think that was in Romania. But now, as you can see here, we have a new studio from Activision in Poland and Amazon Games now in Romania. So it's nice to see more gaming companies opening studios in Europe. I hope one day that there's actually going to be gaming companies in Denmark, because I would love to, apply to. I don't know, it would be fun to work for a gaming company. But so far in Denmark, I mean, the only real like big company I guess we have is the guys who makes Hitman, which is fine. Like some people like Hitman games, it's just no interest for me. Sorry, but yeah, You know what I mean? It's not like Denmark is like the known country for gaming companies, if you know what I mean. But yeah. So again, this is Elsewhere Entertainment, a new studio from Activision in freaking Europe and in Warsaw, Poland. So pretty cool. I've even been in that city. So yeah, let's jump on to the next news. So Ubisoft was making a new game called Division Heartland, and you probably know Division One and Division Two, which is like an what you call an what was it called, FPS, like a shooting MMO, like a third person shooting MMO, and of course the popular one is the Division Two right now. But the Division Heartland was a totally spin off. It was a game that reminded more of, the games where you join a random lobby with a lot of people in. You don't start on each other. You just like kind of like start on each corner, and then your mission is about to like, loot, scrap, get items, so on. And it was something like, in the day, everything was PvE. Everyone fought together against whatever thing you could fight against, raiders, bad people, whatever. But when it was night, you could actually fight other people as well. It was kind of like you can imagine like a third person escape from Targo game, I guess. Just with it seemed like with more people, with more NPCs walking around, more heavier PvE element. Um, so for me, this game actually looked really fun. Like I could imagine a game where you run around on the streets, kind of like a Last of Us experience, and you scrap and you loot and you shoot whatever enemies that you put in front of you, and when it gets night, you're like, oh god, now other people can shoot me. So you're kind of like hiding around. I could just have seen, like, imagined how fun that game would have been. But yeah, this is what Ubisoft had to say. So Ubisoft has cancelled its upcoming free-to-play shooter Tom Clancy's Division Heartland amid larger plans to focus resources on bigger opportunities. So yeah, they didn't see this game as a big opportunity, which I think is totally wrong, but they probably know better. So Ubisoft offered the following statement on the cancellation. After careful consideration, we have made the tough call to halt development on Tom Clancy's Division Heartland, effective immediately. Our priority now is to support the talented team members at our Red Storm Entertainment studio who will be transitioning to new projects within our company, including X-Defiant and Rainbow Six Siege. So X-Defiant is a new shooter game, also a team-based shooter game. I guess you could say it reminds of. It is still its own, but it reminds of the other team-based shooter games like Counter-Strike, Valorant, Call of Duty. Probably more Call of Duty because you can actually respawn on this one. So probably more like a competitive to Call of Duty's competitive, not the battle royale, but the competitive mode, where you are, I don't know, 5 versus 5, 6 versus 6. I can't remember. But so they want to focus on X-Defiant, which they are releasing today, and Rainbow Six Siege, which of course is one of the big esport games, but it annoys me. I was so excited. I even showed my dad this game, and it sounded like he could actually I could convince him playing this game with me and try it with me, but that will never happen now. So I hope one day Amazon is gonna look back at this, and not Amazon, sorry, Ubisoft is gonna be looking back at it and be like, you know what, we have this game down in our drawer. Maybe we should finish it. That sounds like a good idea. So let's hope that Ubisoft someday is gonna uncancel the Division Heartland. But it's just if anyone is out there listening to this and you're like, damn, I was really excited for this game. Well, now you know. So forget the game at the moment. I mean, they didn't say they actually canceled it. They just said that they are. They just say they're going to. What is that word again? Halt development. So basically, they're just like pausing, which maybe is because XDefiant, a new game, is coming out now. They maybe want to have people on it to help like having a good launch. Did Rainbow Six Siege? Don't know why, but yeah, we can't know everything. So yeah, but again, exciting times. Well, no, actually, not exciting times. That's actually really bad. Sorry, not exciting times because we're not getting Division Heartland, but it is what it is. Let's move on to some more better news. So, coming November 15 on Xbox, PlayStation 5, Ubisoft Plus, Amazon Luna, Macs with Silicon, via the Mac App Store, as well as Windows PC through the Ubisoft Store and Epic Games Store. Play 3 days early by pre-ordering any premium edition. A new creed arises, Live the intertwined stories of Naui and adopts Shinobi Assassin from Iga province and Yasuge, the powerful African samurai of historical legend. Against the backdrop of the turbulent late Sengoku period. I'm sorry if I'm butchering some of this, but I'm trying my best. This remarkable duo will discover the common destiny as they usher in a new era for Japan. So yeah, we are getting Assassin's Creed in Japan, freaking Japan, and it's gonna be nice. I actually honestly think it's gonna be an interesting game. I could think about like getting a Ubisoft Plus subscription just for a month, try the game for a month, and then leave it. I'm usually not a player person who are staying with single player games for like a longer time. So I could see myself like, playing for a month and then you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, it was fun. It was fun, but yeah. If you are a person who are often on Twitter or X, formerly known Twitter, you have probably seen a lot of drama debating about this game. Some of the debating is, for example, the price tiers. The price tiers for this game is, I would say, it's kind of like next level, because the Ultimate Edition is now €130, where normally the big edition would always be the 100. So normally back in the days, you would sell your game for $60. For the standard edition, the gold edition would be something like 70, 80, and then your ultimate would be something like 100. But no, not this time. This time they are changing it a bit around by, if I go into the pre-order site here, we can see here that the big edition here is costing, if we take dollars, let's take dollars. The big edition is, oh, okay. When I try, okay, this price can be a bit weird, but when I translate it from the Danish price to the US price in Denmark, it's $140. Where I saw a lot of people saying like the US prices would be 130. So it might be different if you're from the US, but it might be a bit regional price. But again, like my price in Denmark for this game is $140. If I take the middle edition, it is $120. And if I take the standard edition, it is $75. So you can probably see that they have increased the price a bit on the game. And a lot of people is mad because they just like, silently out of nowhere just have decided to increase their prices. They try, to push the entire industry to up increasing the prices because this is possibly not a good thing, since this could mean that other game companies are saying, hey, did you see that? Ubisoft is actually increasing their prices and no one is talking too much about it. They just buy the game. Assassin's Creed Shadow has just, sold record many games. We should also increase our prices. And again, it's the same thing. I work at a software company where it's also normal to increase prices. So it does come, but I just have to say, it is a big increase just going from a game that cost $100 for the biggest package to $130. And in my case, in Denmark, I have to pay 140 for it. So interesting. Beside of that, if you buy the small edition for those 75 bucks or 70 bucks or whatever it is in your country, you will not be able to play by 3 days earlier. If you buy either the gold or the platinum or whatever they call it, the gold and ultimate edition, you will actually get 3 days early access. And I'm sorry, but this is a single play game, yes. This is a game where it's all about having fun and playing a story. Am I right? Like, it's not a race. It's actually a game where it's about just having fun and enjoying the story and really go into the game and all the details. So why are we selling early access? Like, why? Why do we need early access for a single player game? So that means the gold edition players, they can play this game 3 days before the standard edition players, which yeah, I think you and me can probably agree that this is odd. Like, I understand it with some of the games where there might be a competitive element in it, where some people say, hey, this is pay to win, or where it's about like, hey, if I use a bit more money, I can get faster into this MMO and come to some higher in-game zones before other people. And some people think this is fun, some people hate it. Or you could do as, for example, other games where every edition you pre-order, like for example the new Final Fantasy expansion, Final Fantasy 14, no matter what expansion, like no matter what bundle you buy, you get early access in them. It just helps them getting pre-orders, which I think is the ultimate way to do this. Like, no matter what edition you pre-order, you get 3 days early access. If you want to go down in the store and buy a physical version, you gotta wait 3 days. But if you pre-order, well, maybe if you also pre-order in the stores, you might could get a 3 day. So you know what I mean. I just think it's a bit bullshit that you can get 3 day early access to a single play game. Also, if you buy the gold edition or ultimate edition, you get a season pass, which includes 2 upcoming expansion plus extra missions at launch. But if you buy the ultimate edition, the big one, you get a Secure character pack. I don't know what that does. Security hideout pack, 5 skill points, and red dragon photo filter. So you actually get skill points for buying the biggest one. So I guess some kind of like pay to win in a single play game, which is interesting. But the internet was very like angry about this. And now if you go to the website to pre-order the game, you can still see the 3 different options of the game, but it doesn't say anymore what you get from it, which is super weird. So you're looking at this website here with 3 different options where you just get higher in the price, but it doesn't say anything about what you get from each of them, which is super weird. But I think it's because Ubisoft is probably like thinking, guys, what are we doing? People don't like our packages. What should we do? And now they just like really probably hardcore thinking about this. But sorry, that was kind of like an offspring. We were talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows and this new Ubisoft game, which is coming again on November 15. But I just wanted to like inform you on the negative feedback that people have been giving it, because it has early access for the big players for a single player game. It has increased the price in the industry, you could probably say. Some people are also, I don't want to join side on this. Like it seems like I don't know, it seems like the internet is a bit split about this one. But some people are angry that not both characters you play are actually origin characters from, Japan, if you know what I mean. Since one of the characters you play is a person who is an Asian person from Japan, and the other you play is an African samurai. And some people are like, hey, this is a game in Japan. Could we just get, Japanese people to be playing? why do we need an African people in this? And then some people are like, hey, why are you throwing mud at our African player? We just want, why you only want Japanese people? And you can see how this debate goes on the internet. This is debatable material. This is material that can really kickstart a discussion on Twitter. And I don't want to take side of any of this because for me, it's a game. I don't care. I just want to play the game. I don't care what the character is, who it is, what gender, what race it is. I just want to play the game. You know me? Do you feel me? I just want to play the game. So honestly, if they choose to do this and that, I can buy the game if I'm happy with the choices. I cannot buy the game if I'm not happy with the choices. So again, I don't want to have an opinion about this. I'm just like, I just want to play the game. That's all. So yeah, that's the three things that people are negative about this game. But let's put the negative to the side and let's try to jump into the game and see what this game can actually do for you. So, explore feudal Japan. Discover the captivating open world of feudal Japan, from spectacular castle towns and bustling ports to peaceful shrines and pastoral landscapes. Adventure through unpredictable weather, changing seasons, and reactive environments. That's pretty cool. So basically, you can be walking in through this very big open world, which is, of course, in feudal Japan, and it's going to have seasons, weather, probably day and night. So that's pretty cool. The thing is here, you can either become a shinobi assassin or a legendary samurai. It sounds like you cannot only play one of them. It sounds like, this story, like you can start with the assassin and play the story, let's say maybe 25%, but then you need to play the samurai to like get to the same point in the story. So you can't you need to keep up catching up with the story on another character. It sounds like, from what I've seen on Twitter, but I could be wrong, and it could also be changing because again, the game is first coming in November, so many things could change. But yeah, let's go through them. So the shinobi assassin, as the quick-witted and agile Naoi, use noise, light, and shadows to avoid detection as enemies respond to their changing surroundings. Distracting guards using kunai, shuriken, and smoke bombs infiltrate enemy bases with your grappling hook and parkour skills, and assassinate your target with hidden blade. So if you're really that assassin stealth type, this is gonna be your type of character. Or we have the legendary samurai. As the charismatic samurai Yasuke, strike your foes with brutal precision and power. Use his combat-oriented skills to attack, block, parry, and defeat your enemies. Master the vast arsenal of weapons at your disposal, featuring katana, kanobu, bows, naginata, and more, to free Japan from its oppressors. So it sounds like the shinobi assassin is going to have some similar normal Assassin's Creed gameplay where you're kind of like an assassin, but it sounds like the samurai is, Ubisoft is also making the game called For Honor. It could be that they're borrowing some of the combat from For Honor on the samurai, since it could sound like that. It could sound like that when you read it. But it would be cool if they implement some really hardcore combat into the samurai, which is quite interesting. So, information is your weapon. Travel the world, explore and scout surroundings to gather vital intel. Build your network of spies to be your eyes and ears across locations to unveil new areas and hunt down your next target. Along the way, recruit several allies with highly specialized skills and abilities to help accomplish your missions. Play it your way. You decide whether to play shinobi or samurai. Approach quest with whichever character you prefer, as each possesses their own respective progression, stats, skills, and gear. So this one actually sounds like you can just stick to one of them. That's interesting because I was reading different stuff on the internet, which sounded more like you actually had to pick, one of you had to play both of them. Like at the same time. But I mean, if you can just pick one of them, that's pretty great as well. Then you can either choose your stealth way, or you can go for your more berserker samurai style. Interesting. A bit background story. So Naoi trained as a shinobi assassin from Iga province. Oh my god, I'm gonna butcher this name. Naoi Fujibayashi sets out to travel through Japan on a quest of revenge to honor impossible promises. A promise. And Yasuke, after becoming a loyal samurai for Oda Nobunaga, Yasuke finds a new purpose confronting the demons of his past. Interesting. And again, then you have the free packages you can pick between, the standard edition, the gold edition, ultimate edition. And there is also some pre-order bonus, a bonus quest thrown to the dogs. But again, if you go to the website right now, they don't show any stuff you're getting from pre-ordering. So I have a feeling they are rethinking it because of all the bad feedback they had. But again, this is a game I'm excited to see gameplay from. I'm actually excited about it. And also part of the Ubisoft partner program. I'm excited to try out the game. Probably gonna buy a month of Ubisoft Plus to try it. Not buying the game. It's too much money for so I totally understand people buying single player games. I am just not the biggest single player game guy. I kind of need like multiplayer MMO games. So I think it's a great option that I can buy a month of Ubisoft Plus to play it. I think that's a good deal. Yeah, I do think it's a good deal. But again, that's the new Assassin's Creed Shadows. Has gotten a lot of negative feedback. Well, not a lot, but has gotten some negative feedback on Twitter because of the things we just talked about. And again, I don't want to take side in this. I just shared information with you guys. So yeah, that was Assassin's Creed Shadows. So yet again, this is the second episode of my new podcast, Dvalin's Tavern. And again, I am trying to upload 2 episodes every week, bi-weekly, which is a funny word because that can actually mean 2 things. It can mean that we will upload an episode every second week or upload 2 episodes every week. Funny word that you can use for different scenarios. But again, yeah, thank you for listening or watching. You can either watch me just talking on YouTube if you prefer that. You can find me on youtube.com/DvalinDK, or you can find me on any podcast platform, almost any podcast platform, if you search for Dvalin's Tavern. So, and then of course there's no video, but again, I'm just sitting in front of a webcam talking, so you're not gonna miss anything by not watching it. But if you prefer just driving the car, driving a ferry, or whatever you're doing in real life, and you just want to listen to a gaming podcast, then you can find me again on basically all the big podcast platforms. So again, thank you for listening to Dvalin's Tavern. I am your gaming go-to podcast, and I am already looking forward to finding more cool material I will have for the next episode. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Peace out.